I'm Dave, and this is Austin Eats. It's a foggy day in Austin, Texas. What a great time to make a beef tenderloin in the Kamado Joe. The beef tenderloin is the cut of meat that a filet mignon steak comes from, but that's pretty much where the similarities end. The texture and mouthfeel of a filet mignon is very different from the texture and mouthfeel of a beef tenderloin roast. Why? The filet mignon steak will be grilled on both sides, and that's going to give it a lot more texture and structure, whereas the beef tenderloin roast is only going to be seared on the outside. They're different, both are great. You need to think of a beef tenderloin roast as a very expensive and delicate piece of meat. There's not a lot of fat in a beef tenderloin, even a prime tenderloin. I don't want it to dry out in the Kamado Joe, so therefore I'm going to cook it using a reverse sear method. After I get the roast up to room temperature, I'll put it in the Kamado Joe that has been set to 350 degrees indirect heat, and I'll cook that to an internal temperature of about 108 to 112 degrees Fahrenheit. I will then remove the roast, wrap it in foil, and let it rest for 15 minutes while I reconfigure the Kamado Joe for direct heat. I will then crank up the Kamado Joe to 550 or 600 degrees Fahrenheit. I'll add the roast back in and turn it every minute or so until I get a nice crust all the way around and the internal temperature reaches 128 to 132 degrees Fahrenheit. Then it's time to take it off, slice it up, and serve it. This is easy to do, it tastes great, and it's right here on Austin Eats. To cook a tenderloin, it's important that this be uniform in size. You've got a fat end at one end and a skinny end on the other. And this top end has got a piece that just sticks out. So I'm going to tie it down to make sure that I have a fairly uniform thickness across the entire range of the roast. That's important because if I don't do this, the tail will be well done, the center part will be medium rare, and the left edge here, the fat part, would be rare. So want to tighten this down and get them as close to the same diameter as possible. Now the tail section is a little bit interesting because there's not a lot to do with that except A, cut it off, or B, fold it over on top of itself. That's what I'm doing. Now sure, when you cut into this, you're going to have a couple of pieces, but they're all going to be cooked the same way. So that's just fine. Just rustle the string on and tie it down. So if you need a couple of extra strings on there, that's just fine. They will not burn up in the barbecue. Now I'm going to cut the strings off and then rub olive oil over the entire roast and then season it generously with kosher salt and fresh ground black pepper. That's it. Doesn't take any more than that. That is enough seasoning to bring out the flavor of this wonderful roast. I don't like to season it with seasoning salt or garlic or anything else because this is such a great piece of meat. I really want to taste the little bit of smoke that's going to come from the charcoal and very simple seasoning. Time to put this roast on the barbecue. This roast was about 4.5 pounds and will easily serve 8 people, or 6 really hungry people. I always cook one of these during the holidays. It's a great way to impress family and your friends. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, let me know, and please subscribe. I've got new videos coming out every week. See you next time on Austin Eats.